What's up? It's Miss Rankin. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you guys can stick to it and work hard today. Let's learn some things about the properties of kites. This is going to come in especially handy next week when we start building our kite. There's a reason that these shapes are called kites. And the kite that you build next week, you're going to want to have these properties. Alright? So, let's talk about a kite, which is a quadrilateral. Okay, that's a four-sided figure with the following properties. Alright? So it's got exactly two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. Remember that consecutive means one after another. So, in this figure, it says AB is congruent to AD. So here's AB, AD, they're congruent to each other. BC and DC, so here and here, they're congruent to each other. Okay? It has one pair of opposite angles that are congruent. Okay? And it's always the pair, the pair of congruent angles is always the pair of angles that meet when you fold it on the line of symmetry. So your kite has a line of symmetry, and it's this diagonal. It's usually your longer diagonal. Okay? And when you fold it, it's a line of symmetry. In other words, you know it's a line of symmetry because when you fold it, the two halves will match, okay? And so the angles that are opposite each other that go across that line of symmetry, they're congruent to each other. These are not. Angle A is not congruent to angle C, but angle B is congruent to angle D. Alright? And the diagonals are perpendicular. That means they intersect to form a 90-degree angle. Alright? So I'm going to do a couple of these example problems with you. I want to point out that when you're doing these problems, only look for what they're asking you for. Usually when I give you guys worksheets, you can find, with figures like this, you can find all the missing pieces of information. This worksheet's a little different. We're just going to stick with only looking for what they're asking us for. Alright? So, here's my line of symmetry here. Alright, so when I fold it, it gets folded along that line, and this half matches this half, which means that B is congruent to D. Okay? And that's what it's looking for. We're looking for B and D. Now, if you'll recall, this is a quadrilateral. Okay? And if you can, there's a number of different ways that you can go about this. You can use the y equals trick that I showed you on Tuesday, where you put into y1 in your calculator, you put that n minus 2 times 180 to give you the sum. And then you do in y2, you do that n minus 2 times 180 divided by n to give you each interior angle. And then last, you can do that in that y3, you're going to do that 360 divided by n to give you each exterior angle. Okay? You can use that and learn or recall or figure out that a quadrilateral, the sum is 360. Sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360. Which means that this plus this plus this plus this is 360. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two together. I'm going to subtract it from 360, and then I'm going to divide by 2. Alright? So I'm going to say 85 plus 43. That's 128. When I do 360 minus 128, I get not 232. Something's definitely wrong there. Oh, maybe it's right. 360 minus 128, and then I'm going to divide that in half. Okay, and each one of these angles is 116 degrees. Alright, now let's skip over here to number 4. I do want you to do the other numbers. I just want to walk you through some random ones so that you can get some different perspectives on some of these different things. Okay. So, it wants GDE, which is this angle, essentially angle D. It wants DEH, which is this angle, and it wants DGH, which is this angle. All right, so you might be feeling a little stuck. Look, when you're going to feel stuck on these are like solving a puzzle, okay? Solving a crime. You know, Miss Rankin loves murder mysteries. You always have to look for what you know and what it tells you about what you don't know, okay? And don't forget that you know about triangles. We've been talking about triangles almost since the day we met. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. We also know that the diagonals are perpendicular. So these are 90-degree angles here. And I do have triangles. So if I look right here, I have a triangle. I know this one's 59. I know this is 90. My dogs are playing. That's the golden retriever. He's a happy one. And so I can find this one right here because I can do 59 plus 90 and then subtract that from 180. 59 plus 90 is 149, and then when I do 180 minus 149, I get 31 degrees. So this DGH is 31 degrees. Right here, this DGH is 31 degrees. Okay, so we found DGH. Now we want DEH. Well, what we can look at here, it also wants GDE. All right, so let's look at our different properties up here. This is a line of symmetry, right? I know it doesn't say it up here, but it does have a line of symmetry. And this is a line of symmetry. That means that these two angles are congruent. So this is also 59. Well, if this is 59 and this is 90, this is also 31, like this one, because 59 plus 31 plus 90 is 180. So DEH is 31 degrees. And then finally, GDE is going to be 59 times 2, which is what? 118. Okay? Okay, so let's find another one to chip away at. Keep in mind when you're doing these that this is the line of symmetry, which means that this is congruent to this, and then by default, because this is 90, then these two are also going to be congruent. So angle 1 right there is 46 degrees. All right, you're welcome for that freebie. I want to come to where they give us side measures. I don't see any of those. My paper prints out weird. When they give you side measures and they ask you to find missing side lengths, keep in mind that this is a right triangle, okay? And you're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, okay? I'm going to talk about number 11 with you. Here's my line of symmetry right here, which means that U is congruent to S. When I have two things that are congruent to each other, I can set them equal to each other. So I'm going to say 13x minus 32 equals 7x plus 22, and then I'm going to solve for x. We've done this together a million times, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do it with you guys. Maybe we need our memory refreshed a bit. Alright, so I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. I'm subtracting 7x because it keeps x positive. I know we like positive numbers. 13 minus 7, what's that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm terrible with addition and subtraction sometimes. And so now I need to move my 32. Remember that you do the opposite. This is a negative, so you're going to add. So now I have 6x equals 54. And I'm going to divide by 6. Okay. And so x is equal to, I don't even know that multiplication fact. Let me look at 54 divided by 6. Gives me 9. Alright, so x is 9. It says solve for x. We solved for x. So we're good to go. Alright. Here on this one, I'm not going to do it for you, but I am going to help you set it up. Number 14. Okay. Again, remember I told you that we have right triangles here. So I know that this angle plus this angle plus this angle all equal 90. So I can set it up so I can solve for x. I'm going to say 9x plus 1 plus 23x plus, or not plus, sorry. That's a minus 7 plus 90 equals 180. Alright. Now, yeah, so you're just going to use this and solve for x. You're going to combine your like terms. The 9x and the 23x go together. The 1, the negative 7, and the 90 go together. Alright. And then let's look at, I think that's where we started, is it not? No, it's not. It's the next page. Yeah, let's look at one from each page. One more from each page, okay? I'm going to look at number 3, okay? Here's my line of symmetry, which means that this angle is congruent to this angle, okay? So, I know this is 18. Let's see. It wants to know the measure of all the angles in here, okay? And it gives me these two angles. So since this is a line of symmetry, I can tell you that angle 3 is, angle 7 is also 43 degrees, all right? And then right here I have a right triangle, so I can say 43 plus 90 plus angle 3 is equal to 180, all right? So this is 133 plus x equals 180. If I subtract 133 from both sides, what's that? 7, 8, 7. 7 minus 3. 47 degrees. So angle 3 is 47 degrees. Okay. And since these two are congruent, and this is a line of symmetry, I know that 5 is going to be 18 degrees. 6 is going to be 47 degrees. Now I know I'm looking for 1 and 2 here. Okay, I have a right triangle. I know this one's 18 degrees and I know this is 90. So 90 plus 18 is, what's that? 108. And then 180 minus 108, what's that? 72 degrees. So angle 1 is 72 degrees and angle 2 is 72 degrees. Angle 4 is a gimme. That's automatically 90 degrees. Alright, let's do number 11 together, and then I'm going to call it quits. This video is getting long, and y'all are getting bored, and you're not paying attention anymore. So let's look at number 11. My line of symmetry is here to here, R through T. Alright, which means that Q and S are equal to each other. Okay? So I'm going to say 4x plus 35 equals 8x minus 9, and I'm going to solve for x. Pay attention to your directions. It says find the measure of angle S. So once we solve for x, we're going to have to plug it back in here. Okay? It doesn't say solve for x like this one does, number 10. So I'm going to say 4x plus 35 equals 8x minus 9. I'm going to move my 4x over here with the 8x. I'm doing that because it keeps things positive, and we like to keep things positive. Since I moved my x over here, I got to move my numbers over here. I'm going to do plus 9 plus 9. 44 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. I get x is equal to 11. Keep in mind we're not done. It wants the measure of angle S. So here I go. 8 times 11 minus 9. This is 88 minus 9. This gives me 70. What's that? 77? 79. I don't know. Let me set it up like this. 18 minus 9 is 9. Yeah, 79. It's late. Okay. So finish this worksheets. You need to finish day 3, kites. Okay, this is your Wednesday assignment. All right. Y'all work hard, do the work, do some learning, talk to your neighbors about how to get the right answers. Don't copy. And you are welcome to text me on Remind if you have any questions. I'm out working today, but I'll be happy to communicate with you guys as soon as I have an opportunity. All right? Y'all be good for the sub.